Welcome in, everybody. Great to see you all. Hope you're having a great New Year's Eve. Hopefully I can make it that much better. I don't know. This is going to be interesting. This is unlike anything I've ever done before. Let's get started. So actually the first game I streamed on this channel was a Simpsons game. I think I'm going to put it B tier. I really liked it. This already sucked. People like this game. I think B is totally fair. It's not the best Simpsons game out there. It's toward the top, but it's not the best. I would not call it the best. I would argue this is D tier. There's really not much to this game. It's a golfing game with some beat 'em up brawler aspects and a golf cart racing segment. It's unique, but it doesn't really do any of those things very well. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, I think unless you're like a fan of the show and really enjoy the show, this is one I can't really recommend. Yeah, I'm gonna lead you down memory lane. Memories that most of you weren't here for because these streams were way early on. Although Hit and Run, this is one I revisited very, very recently. It was the third game I completed on stream. But Hit and Run's a classic that we just played. Yeah, toward the top, I would even argue, I'm gonna be that guy. I might go S. To me, considering my personal enjoyment, what the game is set out to do, I think it hits the nail on the head. I think it's a phenomenal game. In fact, it holds up better than most of the GTA games it was basing itself off of at the time. I'm going S tier. I will fully admit it's partially based in nostalgia, but I'm sticking with my guns on that. Mafia 2, another S for me. Again, I think if I was going subjectively, it would maybe be A tier. The only thing I could even nitpick on this is that the open world isn't really much of an open world, but personally the story's so damn good, the mission structure is phenomenal. It's just such a well-made game, I can forgive it for that. I should put it above Hit and Run though. I can't, in good conscience, keep Hit and Run above Mafia. That would not be right. Lego Racers does not hold up very well. It's a short game. There's really not a lot to it, especially if you figure out the way the brick stacking mechanic works. And the amount of content is very light. I'm gonna go C tier. It's generous. I will readily admit it's generous, but it's better than a game like Aqua Teen. Tier list spoiler. I forgot that's on. Because now we could just skip to certain games, right? I mean, I'm not necessarily against doing that, actually. You know, I was thinking going chronologically. I might skip to it. I think I will. I'm gonna respect the channel point reward. Mao is at number 56. I think I'm gonna go low S tier. I think it deserves S. Do I think it's as good of a game as Hit and Run, though? Or Mafia 2? I don't think so. It's great for what it is. Doesn't stand for speedrun. I didn't speedrun either of these, but I think the speedrun counts as part of my enjoyment. You know what? It'll go top A. How about that? Top of A for now. If I decide later on that I want it higher, we can always move it. Voodoo Vince. I really like this game. I'm thinking I'm going to put this at A. This is high, but I'm going with my gut. I love this game. One of the better 3D platformers that I've personally played. Great atmosphere, great characters, the right level of difficulty. Crazy Taxi 3. Another one most of you probably didn't see me play. I would argue A tier is probably the definitive Crazy Taxi experience because it has the maps from 1 and 2, plus it has a new map for 3. It's a great port. I played the PC version, ran great. Really fun arcade game you can just pick up and play. Don't have to play it for very long. It's not a very deep or complex game, but it's absolutely a classic by Sega. Highly recommend it. Can't say enough good things. I think bottom of A, at least for now. It might sit toward the middle of A once we get more games in. Was it my favorite game to run? It is. Again, I might move it. How is my favorite game to run not S? You guys have got me torn here. All right, I'm gonna move it up to S. Bottom of S for now. I can't keep moving it back and forth. We got to get through these other games. LA Noire is a solid F. I'm not going to be that harsh. I'm going to say B tier, below Simpsons game. I liked aspects of it. I think the story's quite good. I don't know. I haven't played anything really like it, which is why it gets a bit more of a bump. If I was going purely based on how much fun I had, it would probably be more like C. D minus from you. Man, LA Noire is getting a beating here. I'm surprised. I thought B tier was going to be a little low for some people, but to hear that everybody else feels like it should be even lower makes me feel a little better about where I'm putting it. Definitely better than Lego Racers in terms of ambition, scope, quality. So I'm going to put it at B for now. Original BioShock, classic. I'm going to put it at S, below Mauza. That's what I'm feeling. It did a lot for the FPS genre. Keep in mind, the atmosphere was like one of the best worlds built in a video game that I personally have played. Fallout New Vegas. I have gone on record saying this is one of my favorite games of all time. People ask me how much I like this game. I think it is my favorite game, period, bar none. It's got to go top of S. I can't say enough. Despite the fact that it's buggy as hell, I love the game way too much. It's one of the most infinitely replayable games for me. I've played it probably 4 times, maybe 5 times all the way through, all the DLCs. BioShock 2, Blast. Okay, we're jumping to BioShock 2. BioShock 2, I did not like this as much as the first. And I know a lot of people say it's on par or maybe even slightly better than the original. I think there are some good changes to the gameplay. I think I'm going to put it at the top of B, above the Simpsons game. Next is Mario Kart Wii. Ooh, I played a ton of this game. For those that don't know, I mostly streamed Mario Kart for a good while. I'm personally going to go top of A. S for the legacy. Here's the deal. I like Mario Kart 8 more, and I feel like having Wii and 8 both on S is a bit much. Wii's one of the best Mario Karts in your opinion? Okay though, it introduced motion controls, so I'm gonna knock it down to A just for that. Honestly, great game. I just think Mario Kart A edges it out, and I don't want to put multiple Mario Karts on S. Top of A for now. I did stream Dead Space. I would agree with A. I think it's a better game and more ambitious game than Voodoo Vince. As much as I love Voodoo Vince, fantastic survival horror game, one of the best. Next, Mario Kart 8. There we go. We were talking about Mario Kart 8. Here it is. I think it goes just after New Vegas. Better game than Mafia 2. Hands down the best kart racer that I've ever played. I mean, Nintendo has set the gold standard for kart racers with this. Played the shit out of it on Wii U. Bought it again on the Switch, just so I could play more online. Worth rebuying for that. And plus, they fixed the battle mode that was absolutely garbage in the Wii U version. I like every game, apparently. Well, okay, here's the deal. Early on, I was playing games that I knew I'd love. Keep that in mind. I wasn't taking very many risks early on streaming. There will be a lot less S-tier ranks as we get further in, because I played a lot more shit games. Red Dead is A for you. Okay, I personally, I didn't enjoy this one that much. I didn't think it was that great. I think I'm gonna put it, it's in B for me. I know that much, it's just where in B. Keep in mind, the DLC for this game's broken as hell too. Undead Nightmare is such a mess of a DLC. The mission structure to me, it felt like lazy Rockstar mission structure. The story's great. The atmosphere, the ambiance, the world building is great, as most Rockstar games are. But the mission structure, like the actual gameplay, the core gameplay, I found to be kind of boring. It's just like, ride your horse here, shoot these enemies, rinse and repeat. That's the thing. I think Rockstar has done better in terms of gameplay loop. I think I'm going to put it under, you're going to laugh. I'm going to put it under BioShock 2, but above the Simpsons game. And speaking of the game that did the Rockstar game loop better, this would go above Red Dead for me. In fact, I think it might go above BioShock. You know what? I'm going to give it low A. In terms of gameplay, I think this is the best Rockstar has done. In terms of making a fun game loop that's not super repetitive, it gets an A tier. Fuck it. Okay, South Park Stick of Truth. I think it's top of B. Because I really don't play many RPGs, but I actually found myself really enjoying the turn-based combat in this. I would say what I enjoyed least was when the game was just trying to be overtly disgusting. I mean, it is South Park. You have to expect that. I've seen the show. I felt like the game just, it went really far with it. Like, to the point where I was getting grossed out. And I'm not that much of a prude, but there were moments I was just kind of cringing. Crash Insane. Do I give this S? I'm going to put this S tier above BioShock. Excellent series. If you guys haven't played the Insane trilogy, please do yourself a favor. It's fantastic. It's some of the best platforming. There's a reason Crash has stayed relevant for so long, despite having a very, very roller coaster career in terms of game quality. The original 3 just can't be beat. Okay, Alien Isolation. This is gonna be an interesting one. I didn't care for this game. I think the first 2 to 3 hours were incredible. The world building, the sense of atmosphere, the suspense, so good. The ending killed it for me. After the first 2 to 3 hours, you get a flamethrower. And while the aliens were somewhat hesitant in those first 2 to 3 hours, as soon as you get that flamethrower, they just throw shit out the window. All the suspense is gone. The alien's just constantly coming at you. Honestly, bullshit. I really did not like it. Again, those first 2 to 3 hours, if the entire game was that way, it would be much higher. It's going to go above Lego Racers. I think it's a better game than Lego Racers, but it's getting C tier. Okay, Sunshine. I really liked it, despite it frustrating me to no end at times. Keep in mind, the first night I played this, I think it took me either 2 or 3 nights to beat Sunshine. And the first night I play it, I didn't have the GameCube controller. I was playing it on a 360 controller through Dolphin, so you don't have those dual stage triggers, which totally breaks, especially if you're trying to chase Shadow Mario. Doesn't work. So that kind of ruined my experience a little bit, made some of those missions a real slog. Once I got the GameCube controller hooked up and working, found myself having a much better time with it. Flood is really fun, I think. I thought it was a great addition to the game. I'm gonna put it top of B tier above Stick of Truth because I think some of the later ones are better. Chamber of Secrets on GameCube. Ah, yes. I really like the Harry Potter games. I believe I've played 4 of them now. 2 of them being the PS1 versions. I did play 2 before 1. Because this is the one I grew up with. I never had Sorcerer's Stone. I'm not sure I'd go S. Dare I say A? I think I'm going to say A. It held up incredibly well. I really loved this game. This one did not hold up as well. I liked it more than Alien Isolation, but I'm going to put it atop of C. It was... In comparison to Chamber, what a letdown. Plus, I had issues with it running on the Xbox. I couldn't play the final scene. It just crashed every time. So we had to watch the ending, which was also lame. Like, what a way to end off, like, a really mediocre Harry Potter game. Okay, SpongeBob movie game. Another classic. I think Snake has said... I think when I was playing this, he said something to the effect of, like, this is Battle for Bikini Bottom's cooler cousin. And I'd be inclined to agree with that. I'm inclined to give it bottom of A. I think I liked Bully a little bit more. Bully's a little bit more of an ambitious game. Trust me, we'll get to the jank. Speaking of jank, Twinsanity. Good old Twinsanity. What do I give this? You have to admit, it's kind of a busted mess. You know what? I'm going to put it bottom of B. It's really not that bad. The bugginess gives it a bad rap, but in terms of it being an actual game, it's quite fun. Okay, Shrek 2. Oh no. How do I fairly rank Shrek 2? I don't know if I can. There were moments where I was bursting out laughing at this, and there were also moments that made me want to pull all of my hair out. I think it's gotta go C tier. Final boss flashbacks commence. I mean, even if you take out... You think it's D? Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. I was gonna put it bottom of C. Might as well put it top of D. Better game than Aqua Teen, but not by a whole lot. SpongeBob Employee of the Month. This is a weird game to rank because it's a point-and-click game and it's quite short. I might put it bottom of B because it's not much of a game. You know, it's a point-and-click game. So it's really, there's not a whole lot going on. But for what it was fun for a couple hours, I thought. Okay, Paper Mario. Man, I have a storied past with Paper Mario. I'm going to put, this is my favorite Paper Mario, bar none, easily. No question. I'm going to put it above BioShock. Not above Crash, but it's S tier for me. Incredible RPG. The best the Paper Mario series to me ever was. Probably ever will be. You know, what's great about it is, like I said, I'm not that big into RPGs and I'm not that familiar with turn-based combat, but it did such a great job getting you into it. It was a fantastic starter RPG. And even for those that like RPGs, it's still a great game. You can still enjoy it. There's enough depth there to really like it. The combat's phenomenal. And I think the story is also great. And it's not overly blown out and dragged out like some of the later ones. Kung Fu Chaos. This is another childhood game of mine. I'm thinking Kung Fu Chaos, I'd go B again. In fact, I mean, it's just so much fun. I don't think it's a phenomenal game, but for what it's trying to do and how much fun I had with it. Like, even if you're not into beat-em-up games, it's a fun time. Like I said, though, I don't think it's the best made game. Also, it's got some problematic characterizations. I think I'm going to put it above L.A. Noire. Batman Arkham Asylum. To me, it's either A or B, and I'm kind of struggling to place it a little bit, just because it has been a while since I've played it. I think I'm going to go B, below Sunshine. Still a good game. Yeah, it's a B+. Okay, Harry Potter. Sorcerer's Stone PS1. I loved this game. If I was going based purely on how much fun I had with it, I'd put it in A or S. Probably not S. But it's not the best made game. Get that shit out of A. That Feather game was bullshit. I think that alone puts it in B. Some of the Diagon Alley stuff was actually ass. But on the whole, I really, really, really liked it. I'm going to put it above South Park. In B tier. Don't understand my acceptance. I like jank. What do you want from me? It's pure liquid jank. It's literally my life source. Okay, Galaxy. Honestly, another S. To me, yeah, Galaxy, best 3D Mario, period, without a doubt. I think it's going to go below Paper Mario, but above BioShock. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, Mickey's Speedway. Need to bump everything down a level. I will admit, I am very optimistic. I'm not much of a critic. I'm quite nice in general. I don't know, so far, I think this is fairly fair. This is not going A, though. I do like Mickey's Speedway. Great kart racer by Rare on the N64. Really nice graphics. You put it below Lego? I think it's got more polish than Lego. I think it's better than Alien Isolation. I think it's better than Harry Potter. I would be inclined to put it at the top of C. I think the biggest downside is the fact that it gets stupidly hard at the end. Destroy All Humans, oh man. So, I haven't played the original yet, all the way through. This is the only one I've played on stream. Can you believe that? This is a horrible game. Absolutely atrocious. It wouldn't be so bad. Again, difficulty strikes. Ending is impossibly hard. I had to use cheats. Destroy All Humans, I've heard is a good series. I did play some of 1 and 2 back in the day. F for motion controls and difficulty. I feel like we do need F. I feel like putting it in D would be a little generous. I do think it's F. Yeah, first F of the night. There we go. Destroy All Humans. Fuck it. Horrible game. Okay, Ghostbusters. Some of these are going to get interesting later on. We're actually getting close to some of my first speedruns. Believe it or not, I've played all these games. I had not started speedrunning yet. I played nearly 40 games before I started speedrunning on Twitch. Yeah, I think this is a B tier game. Where in B, though? I really did like this game. I think I'm going to put it in between Harry Potter and Stick of Truth. I think that's where it's meant to be. Don't love it. It's got some issues, namely some of the later levels. God, there's that graveyard level that just slogs. Overall, on the whole, pretty good. I could recommend it. I'd say play it if you're even at all curious. Wind Waker, okay. Bubbly did do the tier list spoiler for this a while back, and I said it was A tier, and I stand by that. I'm gonna put it below Dead Space. Better be S. It's A tier for me. I'm sorry, I had a really bad time with parts of that game. I famously struggled with some of it. So yes, I'm a little biased here. Still a great game. Just insanely frustrating at times. Basically requires a walkthrough. At least I needed one. Desperately. Imagine pretending to be human and giving Wind Waker an A. Imagine having an opinion that goes against the grain slightly. Okay, Mario Party 7. I think this was my first community stream. We haven't done enough of since. I really need to make more time for group streams. It's hard for me to decide here. Because for what it sets out to do, it's like a near perfect game. Above SpongeBob, below Bully. Yeah, that seems right. I could get on board with that. Definitely an A tier game, without a doubt. Okay, Fallout 3. A lot of people shit on this game. And I don't think it's fair, because the same people that shit on this game praise the living fuck out of New Vegas. And keep in mind, if 3 did not exist, New Vegas would not be a thing. This is also the introduction to the series for me. So it's hard for me to place this totally objectively because it introduced me to the series. I have very fond memories because of it. I think it's low S. In fact, I'm going to put it below BioShock. It's going to go at the bottom of S for me. I think maybe if I was being slightly more objective, it would go A. It's a personal connection for me. Good old Lego Star Wars. I think this is the pinnacle of Lego games. I don't think another Lego game has superseded this in any way, shape, or form. I think this is the best you can get for Lego. That being said, where does the best of Lego land? I think this was the first stream I did near 8 hours. It was me and Trashy. Best Lego game is still a high B. I think I'd be inclined to agree. B+. That's the thing, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan either, but the game is so solid, you just can't help but love it. I think it is B tier though. You know, it's not reinventing the wheel in any sense of the word. Definitely Lego games have not reinvented the wheel after. They've pretty much stuck to the same exact formula. I'm thinking above Ghostbusters. Because also keep in mind, this was my first stream with Trashy, so it's got a bit of that sentimental value. So yes, I'm a little biased. Okay, what's next? Garfield Kart. I can't, in good faith, put it at S. I mean, it's got more content than Lego Racers. I had more fun with it than Alien. More fun than Harry Potter. I'm gonna put it high C. Is it better than fucking Mickey's Speedway? No. Okay, it's going below Mickey's Speedway. It's a fun game, but it's objectively not very good. That's all I'm saying. It's not a cop-out. That's where it belongs. Okay, Punch-Out. This is a great game. Essentially, kind of a remake of the original, which admittedly I haven't played. I think Punch-Out's A. I think I'm gonna wedge it between Voodoo Vince and Crazy Taxi. It's a fair defense. I got credits. I beat the game. But part of the reason I haven't gone back and played it is because I kind of don't want to ruin my initial enjoyment of it. Okay, Sonic Generations. One of the few Sonics that includes 3D that I really, really enjoyed. I think this honestly brought my opinion of 3D Sonic up by quite a bit. Yeah, I'm thinking B. I think B's fair for Sonic Generations. It's still got its issues. It's still got a bit of that jankness. But I really had a lot of fun with it, and it very much heightened my opinion on what 3D Sonic could be. I think it gets wedged between BioShock 2 and Red Dead. Above Red, yes. Sorry, I enjoyed it more. Red Dead was kind of a slog. I'm not gonna lie. It's well made, but it's boring. Okay, moving on. Sonic R. I really like Sonic R a lot. If I was going based purely on how much I enjoyed it, I'd be near A. I don't know where to place Sonic R, because I love this game. I know it's objectively not very good. I guess I'm a little biased because Sonic R controls nicely to me. I picked it up and it like really had a nice time with it. I think I'm gonna put it in C tier. It's super light on content. It's barely a game. But what's there is really fun. Not necessarily really well made. So I think C tier is fair. I'm gonna put it ahead of Garfield Kart though. Okay, here we go. American Tail. For those that don't know, this was my first ever speedrun. It's not S. As much as I gotta give it credit for being my first speedrun. It's a ridiculously short game. It's less than an hour. It's like a half an hour to beat the entire game. I gotta take speedrunning out of it, or are they all BS? No, I even speedrun this, and I'm still gonna put it like in D tier. Yeah, realistically, this is D tier. Realistically. And it's not getting an F because I've done speedruns and I've had fun with it. But it's got so much variety. It does none of it well, though. I think it's bottom of D tier. In fact, actually, you know what? I'm gonna bump it above Aqua Teen. I can do at least that much for it. Yeah, American Tail is D, but to us, it's kind of an S, yes. Crash Huge Adventure. This is a solid Game Boy Advance game, and decent for a Crash game even. Considering the limitations of the hardware, it's actually quite fun. I'm gonna put it below Garfield Kart. It was fun. I'm giving Garfield Kart the slight edge. Okay, Smurf Racer. First game, that's true. Yeah, this is the first game Matt rated me on. And I think it was while I got the world record. It was my world record run. So this is the second game I did a speedrun of. It is fun. I think it's above Lego Racers. It's just hard to compare it to a game like Isolation. I did have more fun with it than Isolation. I think in good conscience, I can't put it above Alien Isolation. In terms of it being a game, there's not much there. I think it's better than Lego Racers, but not by a whole lot. Monopoly Plus. This ended up being a kind of last second. It was a very last second game choice because we were gonna play Mario Party and then we had issues with Dolphin and NetPlay. I got kind of destroyed, didn't I? I think it's a C tier game. As a board game itself, Monopoly is quite good. I think it's a little too long for its own good most of the time. Unfortunately, published by Ubisoft, so it's gonna have those annoying Ubisoft bullshit prerequisites. But if you look past that, I mean, it's Monopoly, which in and of itself is a pretty good board game. It's either C or D. And the only reason I'd put it in D would be due to the Ubisoft port. I think I'll put it top of D. Lego Lord of the Rings. Well, I put Lego Star Wars in B tier, considering all the issues Trashy and I had playing this, especially when trying to 100%. Literally, the game forced us to stop playing because it cut off, I think, the last, like, couple percentage points. The game glitched out. We could not, even if we wanted to, we couldn't 100% it. So yeah, I think a notch below Star Wars, just where on C? I don't know, I'd be tempted to put it near the top. I think the game's a little too long for its own good, and the bugs really drag it down. It's not just PC port issues. I've read on console it's just as bad. Trashy and I really had a rough time toward the end. I think I'm gonna put it below Crash and above Harry Potter. Bubsy 3D. It's either D or F. Here's my deal with it. I think until the last third of the game, it's actually enjoyable. The problem is that the difficulty is bullshit. And it kind of feels like the earlier levels, they compensate for the fact that the controls are really not very good. So they make the game a little easier. And so it's actually kind of fun. But toward the end, they throw it totally out the window. I gotta give it an F. In terms of a streaming experience, it was fantastic. I will never forget it, but it is F. Speaking of F, Razor Racing. So after American Tail and after Smurf Racer, I believe this is the third game I sped run. Razor Racing, I think I played for a day or maybe two. Becca and Nar were like the two people really pushing for me to play this. And I did, and I did have some very brief fun with it. A horrible speedrun. Really not a very good game. There's only 3 maps. Horrible lack of content. Real rush job. I'm gonna put it in F, just above Bubsy. Dust. Yes, this was one that Dio had me play. Great game. I don't think many people saw me play this, but I don't care. The furry game. Everybody was freaking out because they thought it was a furry game. I was like, yes, it has anthropomorphized animal characters in it, yes, but that wasn't really the focus. Dust is mid-B. I think it's a better game than Star Wars. It's better than Harry Potter. I'm gonna squish it in between Batman and Harry Potter. In fact, I'm almost a little tempted to put it above Batman. I think for now I'm gonna put it here. Star Fox 64. I feel like this has gotta go A. It's a good game, despite the N64 not being the best hardware. I'm thinking below Punch-Out and above Crazy Taxi. Snoopy's C or D, I would agree. There was some grinding in this, which really kind of turned me off from it. Top of D for the dumb grind, I would, yeah, because I was thinking like mid-C until we had to grind for coins to buy the upgrades. That kind of killed it for me. 1,000 Year Door, definitely an A. Better than Wind Waker, at least. I would agree. I liked it more than Wind Waker. Said it was too long every single stream. I think most of my complaining was me getting frustrated at some of the puzzles, which is like fair. Just because I get a little, a little frustrated doesn't mean I didn't like the game. Yeah, I think top A is a little too high. I think I had more fun with it overall than Wind Waker. Yeah, they're not meant to be played in like 5+ hour long sittings. I'm thinking mid-A. The thing is, there's some really good improvements over the original game. Just, yeah, the length was kind of a deterrent toward the end. I just wish the pacing was slightly better. I'm gonna put it between Punch-Out and Star Fox. Fable. This was an interesting one because, as those that saw me play this know, I really did not enjoy the beginning, but it really turned around for me toward the end. Yeah, C at the start, A at the end, levels out to about a B. Where within B, though? I think I liked it more than Stick of Truth, but not as much as Ghostbusters. Toy Story Racer was fun because you were stressed at the time. Oh, your final exam ever. Yeah, that's some good timing. Now, it was a great, like, just kick back and relax game. I really enjoyed playing through this. This game's far too long for its own good. I'm trying to think of where I should put this because it's really fun. Control-wise, it's a little jank, and it's far too long for its own good. I'm thinking C tier. I think I enjoy Sonic R more. Yeah, that's where I'm going to put it. I don't want to think too hard about it. That's what my gut is telling me. So that's where it's going to go. Battle for Bikini Bottom. Dare I say, this is a great game, by the way. Well, maybe not great. Very, very good. I think the movie game, I enjoyed a little more. I'm thinking top of B. I think I enjoyed it overall more than Mario Sunshine. I hope I see past my lack of skill and give it a C. But Mecha, the 3DO version, keep in mind, I played through the 3DO version and beat the game. So you're not going to tell me I just suddenly got way worse. The PC port sucks in comparison. Yeah, 3DO is like a B or even an A. I'm dead serious. PC is... PC. Worst of Fs. See, and Mindscan recommended the game. This was probably the least fun I've ever had on a stream. It was a bonding experience, but it absolutely destroyed me. It killed my time. Put it high F. It's not as bad. I had more fun with Bubsy though. I had more fun with Bubsy. I'm dead serious. I would go back and play Bubsy 3D before I'd go back and play Killing Time PC. Okay, Undertale. Oh man. This is kind of a low point, wasn't it? Here's the deal with Undertale. If the streaming experience, do not stream this game. I beg you. If you are a streamer and you want to play Undertale, don't stream the game. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Yeah, people joining the chat with spoilers in their screen names, leading me the wrong way, giving me false information, messing up my save file. Don't stream this. That being said, I don't feel like I can rightfully give it an F. Yeah, or don't stream it under the category. Maybe you'll have better luck if you just stream in retro. That might be a better way to do it. I do have to bring my streaming experience into the fold, though, with this. I think I would put it up in B if it wasn't for the streaming. I think due to the streaming experience, I have to put it at D. I know a lot of people like this game, and I did want to like it as well. And there were great nuggets when I wasn't being annoyed by chat. Of course, my regulars weren't being annoying. Regulars were great. It was the new people coming in from the category that just ruined it. Stuntman Ignition. This game's incredible. I love this game. This is one of my all-time favorites. That being said, do I think it's like an S tier game? No. The game that I played, yes, actually, yeah, the game I played to recover from Undertale. This totally 180'd my whole mood. I think it's A tier just for that. What it sets out to do, it does very well. Do I put it above Zelda? Like, it doesn't feel right putting it above Zelda, but I loved my experience with this. I'm gonna put it above Zelda. That's definitely a hot take, but what can I say? I adored this game. And Zelda's still high A. So before you get the pitchforks out. Yeah, we got Hooters Road Trip next. What are these? Man, some of these, the memories flood back. I feel like I can't put it above D. Actually, D's fitting. The game's so boring, though. It's not a good racer. The only reason it's somewhat interesting is because of the Hooters tie-in. Let's be honest. Yeah, chat was fun, but I mean, that was more because chat was a good time rather than the game being good. You know what I mean? I think I'm going to give it D tier. I'll give it top of D tier. How about that? Yeah, a racing game based on a PG-13 Applebee's. Oh, and then we got into my PAL phase. My PAL PS2 phase. So if you guys don't know, for a little while, like a handful of streams, I did some PAL PS2 variety. No, this is the Flintstones Bedrock Racing. Not Bedrock Bowling. Bedrock Racing. I actually had fun with this one. I mean, it was a little boring. There's not a whole lot going on. In fact, Wacky Races coming up is basically a better version of the same game. So I think Wacky Races goes higher. I still think they're both not the best games. So I think Wacky Races is C tier. Like high C tier, honestly. It was actually like a decent game. Some weird physics. And I think Flintstones probably gets lower on C. Probably the bottom of C, to be honest. Just much less going on in it. Yeah, I'm going to put Flintstones at the bottom of C. They're both very short games, but I honestly didn't mind that. Perfect length for what they were offering. Bomberman's a height, yeah. As much as I kind of take some weird pride in starting the speedrun for this. It's not a very good game. It's quite boring. There's not much happening. I think D's fair. I mean, it's not that great of a racer. Like, I like it, but not really for necessarily the right reasons. It's kind of a boring game. For that reason, I think I'm going to give it... I might give it bottom of D. I think I'd sooner rather go back and play Aqua Teen. Yeah, even as a speedrun, it's boring, but like, hey, created a page for it, what can I say? Captain Scarlet, I barely remember this game. This felt like a glorified tech demo. I had fun with it. It was very short, so at least there was that. But I would argue top of F. Like, I enjoyed it, again, though, for wrong reasons. Better than Razor Racing, but not by a whole lot. Yes, Lassie. Lassie's one of the better games to come out of the PAL PS2 road trip. All of these racers were pretty good, too. I don't know. Where do I put this? Like, my gut is telling me, like, mid-C. But, like, then it goes above Alien Isolation. Like, I mean, I did have more fun with it. It's fun to watch Pete speedrun it. Yeah, maybe C's a little too high. Fun game, but it's insanely short. I think Lassie's gonna go top of D. Very top of D. Above Hooters Road Trip. This next game. Oh, Kart Kings. The pain of that mountain track. You know, weirdly enough, I was reflecting on this game the other day. I don't know why. I don't quite remember why, but I was remembering back to it. I'm like, the game actually wasn't that bad. It's not great. But this one's kind of interesting because I believe it was one of the first games fully developed and published in India. So it's kind of cool for that reason. It's not a bad little racer. It's definitely better than something like Bomberman Kart. Not a whole lot, but I think it's got a little bit more merit. In fact, I'd be inclined to put it above Hooters. It was a journey to get good and I overcame it. No, it was actually, like, thinking back on it, it was quite satisfying. Like, I'm glad I played it. Okay, Earthworm Jim. This one was an interesting one. I have mad respect for this game. And I actually enjoyed it despite needing to get good. The fact that I was able to beat it in one stream says something. Typically, I would not have that kind of luck. Yeah, I thought it made for a really good stream too. Great game, made for a good stream. Challenged me, but not too much to the point where I totally hated it. I'd be inclined. It's either very high B or low A for me. The end was rough, but I did get through it. Luckily, I did use a cheat code for that ending to get more ammo. The only thing I cheated on was to get ammo at the very last boss. I think I might put it between Sunshine and Batman. Mario Kart 64. This was an interesting one. I struggled with this game so hard. I really did. Do I put it? I'd put it, I think, between Paper Mario and Punch-Out. Still a great game. Definitely harder than some of the newer ones, to say the least. But Mario Kart gets harder the further you go back. I think considering how much fun I had with it, how it holds up, how it stacks up, I think that's a good spot for it. Okay, Doom Eternal, this is gonna be a bit of a hot take. I've been kind of dreading having to rank this one. D for Doom. I don't think I can put it that low. That seems quite harsh. Doom's like C or D. Really disliked it. C-. They made Doom Guy speak. It's automatically C. Damn, chat did not enjoy this one. And I definitely, the fun waned hard toward the end. I'm glad I played it. And I think a good chunk of it is actually quite good. The gameplay loop is solid. It just overstays its welcome. The second to last boss in particular really pissed me off. The fact that the final boss was easier and I didn't have to do any bullshit like putting on armor and stuff. I'm thinking C tier. And a lot of it was forgettable too. I'm thinking mid C. I'm gonna put it under Wacky Races. I'm gonna get burned at the stake, but I don't care. It's my list, damn it. Smuggler's Run was cool. The ending got very hard, and I admittedly, I think on the second to last or last mission, I wrapped things up because I was spending far too long on it, and I've already beat the game off stream, so I wasn't trying to prove anything. Yeah, Smuggler's Run to me is a B tier game. Actually, the more I think about it, I think it's like a mid B tier game. I'm gonna put it just above Simpsons. No, actually just below Simpsons and just above Kung Fu Chaos. This game, Lifeline, if you had the misfortune of missing it, or the fortune, it really depends on how you look at it. Parts of this game were absolutely brutal, painful even, agonizing, but at the same time, totally iconic. The elevator, yeah, shoot, 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 I think a lot of people left, rightly so, because they got sick of me yelling at the PlayStation. The game's too damn hard. It is. Yeah, see, now I'm having my IGN moment, but seriously, this game's ridiculously hard, and it requires you to play sections over and over again if you want to do it without save states, and I was not willing to do that. The game destroyed, yeah, it absolutely destroyed me. S for entertainment, absolutely S for entertainment. I think early game, it's quite fascinating. Yeah, the bosses. There were so many good moments though. I'm gonna put it in D. The game's still playable though. Actually, the voice recognition's quite good. My main problem is the difficulty. I'm not gonna S tier it for memes. The more I think about it, listen, if it's S for entertainment, F for being a game, honestly, I'd call it maybe a D tier game if you're totally taking entertainment factor out of the equation. I think it would be a D tier as a game. I think we even out to about a C. The more I think about it, the higher I want to put it. Have some PTSD, but it's worth. Absolutely. Top of C it goes. Okay, Looney Tunes Racing. Did the speedrun of this. I'm actually going to pull up the speedrun page. Another one of those racers where I was just vibing with it, so I went ahead and tried the speedrun and actually ended up getting the record. I may return to this, maybe once I get my PS2 set up, but I think it's quite good. Yeah, I'm thinking C tier for this too. Maybe even low B tier, honestly. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Really fun game. Speedrun's got insane amounts of RNG, but other than that, pretty fun. I really enjoyed this one. I'm gonna put it above LA Noire, under Kung Fu Chaos. Okay, Road Trip Adventure. Road Trip, really fun. So this is a car PG. You've probably never heard of that genre, and I don't blame you, but it's actually pretty cool. So basically you do races, you upgrade your vehicle, and there's also like a open world aspect. Yeah, this was a really cool game. I got very close to beating it. I did get the Super S rank license. I think there was like one final, it was like a total gauntlet of races that I had to do that just was far too difficult. So I never quite technically finished it, but we basically played 99% of the game. I'd be inclined to give it a B. Maybe above Smuggler's Run, below Simpsons Game. Actually, you know what? I think it places pretty nicely next to Smuggler's, actually. Okay, Snowboard Kids. I think the difficulty is the main turnoff. I did get through it, technically like the Copper Pass. I got the Copper Pass. I made it a good chunk of the way through. After that, I was having way too much trouble. I'm thinking, honestly, might go toward the top of B. You know what? I think I did have more fun with Harry Potter. So I'm gonna put it above Star Wars and below Harry Potter. And our B tier is basically full. I am gonna extend the list here a little bit. A little chunkier list now. Oh, we're on Space Race. Yeah, I'm gonna rank this one somewhat highly. Probably higher than it might deserve. It did have some kind of BS, weird like minigame sequences that I didn't quite care for. On the whole, really fun. This was a Dreamcast port. I'm thinking low A, to be honest. I mean, it's not, again, it's not reinventing the wheel. I mean, most kart racers aren't, but I'm honestly thinking maybe above Crazy Taxi. No, below Crazy Taxi, above Harry Potter. Okay, Sonic CD. The only like classic 2D Sonic I've actually finished. It definitely brought my opinion of Sonic up. There were some frustrating moments. Mania's better. At least I could finish this one. I don't know. I liked it. I was digging it. I think I might be a little biased too because it's on the Sega CD. Can I put it between Mario Kart 64 and Paper Mario 1000 Year Door? I think that's what I'm gonna do. A tier might seem a little high, but I am fully biased because I could actually beat the damn game. I'm taking it. Okay, Galaxy 2. I did not like this one nearly as much as the first game, which I know might be a somewhat unpopular opinion. I still think it's A tier. It's quite good. It just didn't quite get to me the same way the first one did. I'm thinking this should go above Mario Kart 64, just below Punch-Out. Okay, Smash Ultimate. Can I put it in S tier? I think I'm going to. I'm thinking this goes pretty near the top. To me, it's the best Smash Brothers that's come out. But it's weird to compare it against single-player games because I find this to be a perfect multiplayer experience. The single-player sucks. Let's face it. World of Light or whatever the hell it was, not good. So I'm going to put it at S, and actually just thinking about World of Light and the time I wasted on it, I'm going to put it at bottom of S. Miss Carrion, you know it's good. I'm thinking B tier. High B tier. It was really good. I did get lost once or twice, pretty severely, which, you know, I don't want to take too much off for it. That's my gut feeling here. I think I'm gonna put it below Dust and above Harry Potter. It's definitely a better game than Harry Potter. I think I enjoyed Dust a little more. Oh yes, Bombad. Another game that I have the world record for. It's not a good game, but the speedrun's fun. I really enjoy speedrunning it, but I can also look at it from a slightly objective point of view and say it's not a good game. I think it's a really boring casual game. I think in top of C, or near the top. I put it above Toy Story Racer. I don't know if I put it above Sonic R. I think it kind of wedges in there nicely in between. Panic. I technically didn't finish this one, but I'm counting it because it's bullshit. In order to finish this game, you just have to follow a guide. To me, the novelty wore thin. The whole idea is you choose different paths to take. You can click on different buttons. It takes you to different areas. A funny scene plays out. You click more buttons. Funny scene plays out. It wore thin pretty quick. I think as a game, it kind of fails, though. It's an interesting curiosity. I'm thinking D tier. I think I'm going to put it below Snoopy and above Monopoly. It's just, there's not much of a game there. Click on some buttons, watch some cutscenes, rinse and repeat. Basically it. Okay, Mario 64. How do I rank this? Because on the one hand, I want to give it a lot of credit for when it came out and the time it came out. I mean, it came out around the same time as Bubsy, and it's a million times better than Bubsy. But there's also been Galaxy 1, Galaxy 2, which I'd argue are both better games. Is it better than Battle for Bikini Bottom, though? I mean, the thing is, Battle for Bikini Bottom has the benefit of being a generation later. Plus, this is a remaster. Yeah, the game I unexpectedly decided to learn the speedrun. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, chat had me try the backwards long jump, which was actually one of my highlights for that game. I could see it sit next to Sunshine, toward the top of B. Feels a little weird putting them so close together, but I think they deserve to be that close together. Okay, Outrun and Outrun 2019. These were from a Genesis night we did. These were like a couple of the only Genesis games I actually beat. I think Outrun 2019 is a slightly worse game, and Outrun itself is kind of a bogged down port of an arcade game. I think these are B tier games as well. I feel like I'm putting a lot of games in B, and we're running out of space on B. Okay, I'm gonna put these B. I think Outrun slightly edges it out. I'm gonna put it above Snowboard Kids, beneath Harry Potter. I might start moving some of the B tier games down to C if I need to. Outrun 2019, not as good, in my opinion, as the original, but kind of a cool curiosity of like a alternate game. So I'd put it also in B, maybe above Stick of Truth, below Fable. Okay, this is the other Wacky Races game, definitely worse than the one we played. So this one was on Dreamcast, I think. I want to say this was on Dreamcast and they got ported to PS2 in Europe only for some reason. I'm thinking this is D tier. I'd honestly go, I'm going to put it below Snoopy and above Panic. Yeah, basically cell shading looks fire, and then you're like, That doesn't save the game, though. Motor Tune Grand Prix. This is a good racer. I would argue, I'm thinking A tier. Better than Space Race, even. But yeah, Motor Tune Grand Prix. This is technically the second game in the series. The first game is this Japanese exclusive one that we're getting to now. This is a strange curiosity of a game. Pales in comparison to the sequel. Polygon count is so much lower. It's like laughably lower, even though it's on the same system. I did speedrun this. I have the only run for it, I believe. But yeah, Motor Tune Grand Prix, I did easy and normal. Easy, I still hold the record. It's actually somewhat contested. It's like 6 runners. So there's some competition. But yeah, and then I also did a speedrun of the Japanese game that didn't have a page before I ran it. It's not a very good run, but it's a really jank game, and it doesn't control very well. But it was kind of fun just to run for a night. Anyway, I think this deserves D tier. Cool curiosity. I think, again, it's going to go above Panic. Because, again, Panic's just not much of a game. And then everything after that is kind of various levels of just not great. Actually, I might put it slightly above Wacky Races. Just because this game is a lot shorter. It's only got 3 tracks. So even though it's not the most polished game, it's by very quickly. Darkwing. It's a really good NES platformer. One of the few NES platformers I've tried. I really liked it, but I also got insanely frustrated. I'm inclined to put it on A tier. But I was a little bummed out toward the end of having to use save states. But I'm sure the responses get good, but... yeah, great graphics for the NES. Good Capcom title. No, I know it's supposed to have a challenge. I understand that. I'm thinking middle of the pack on A. I think I'm going to put it below Star Fox and above Crazy Taxi. For me and the experience I had, it's a good ranking. Okay, Chocobo Racing. To be honest, I really don't remember this game that much. It's kind of forgettable, admittedly, but it's like a pretty okay kart racer, I would argue. I guess the track designs didn't do a whole lot for me. Maybe B tier. Seems slightly high, but I did... yeah, there was some aggression. Maybe like right at the end of B. I think I'm gonna move C back a bit. I'm sorry. I gotta make room. Move LA Noir. I'm not gonna disagree with that. Kiru. I don't know how to pronounce it exactly. Quite challenging. Simple puzzle game, but really a lot of fun when it's all said and done. I think this is a B tier game. I mean, it does exactly what it set out to do. Yeah, I think that's where it's gonna go. Decent little fun game. Not too much depth or complexity, but doesn't need it. Okay, Mario Kart DS. Believe it or not, on stream, it was the first time I had played this. Okay, I would be inclined to put Mario Kart DS above 64, which might be a bit of a hot take, but I don't care. It's gonna nestle in between Punch-Out and Galaxy 2. I feel like that's a decent spot for Mario Kart DS. Okay, Futurama. Man, what a letdown this game was. It's D tier for me. Yeah, it's like top of D tier. And the only reason I'm giving it that is because I do like Futurama a lot. That kept me kind of invested. Really just a bog standard 3D platformer. It's high priced too. Yeah, you can't get it for cheap. Under Lassie, you know what? Yeah. Because at least Lassie's short, and it's sweet, and it's fun. Futurama had its fun moments, but they were kind of few and far between. Yeah, D tier it goes. Horizon Chase Turbo. This was a great game. What a place, though. I really did enjoy this one. But I can't, like, in good conscience put it above, like, Sunshine or Mario 64. Or Earthworm Jim. I'm thinking for Horizon, yeah, somewhere in here. Maybe just above Dust, but, like, barely. Okay, Luigi's Mansion. Yeah, I'm thinking Luigi's Mansion, though. Low A. I'm gonna put it below Star Fox, but above Darkwing. Yeah, everybody played it in October, pretty much. We got a lot more jank coming up, though. New Ghostbusters 2. This was kind of cool, developed by HAL Laboratories. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was kind of like mediocre. Probably C tier. Maybe above Doom and below Wacky Races. Like, it was fine. I'm glad I played through it. It was another NES game to put under my belt. Mario 35. Feels a little weird ranking this, just because I kind of suck at Mario, but I did play it. Like, a decent little chunk. Okay, here's my problem. Next to Tetris 99. Tetris 99 is great, and it works in this formula because it doesn't change the way you play the game. Like, you play Tetris the same way. In Mario 35, you're totally playing a different game. It doesn't matter that much, but I personally didn't care for that gameplay style. I didn't care for kind of like easing back and not getting through the level quickly. Or maybe mid-B. Maybe next to Carrion. Above Harry Potter. It just didn't do that much for me. I'd much rather just play standard Mario. And that's not a knock on the game, it's just not for me. Tetris is better in my opinion as a battle royale. I'm thinking low A. Maybe between Crazy Taxi and Darkwing. Okay, now we have X-Files. Man, we have X-Files and then Barbie. Oh, man. Okay. X-Files, D tier. Okay, I think this is a better game than Panic. Maybe a better game than Wacky Racers. The Licensed Lifeline. Because I really didn't stop enjoying it till, like, right toward the end. Where it just got extremely hard. And even the walkthrough, keep in mind, the walkthrough said, yeah, probably use cheats. That's your best bet. Like, you know a game's fucked when it says, when the walkthrough just says, yeah, use the cheats. Yeah, I mean, everybody was just comparing it to, like, a bargain bin. Oh, it's funny, it's not bargain bin anymore because it's actually kind of expensive, but everybody was comparing it to Resident Evil, which is an absolutely understandable comparison because it's basically trying to be Resident Evil. I mean, I had a better time with it than Undertale. I don't know, there were some funny moments, though. Like, the voice acting was atrocious in the best possible way. I don't know, I had some fun with it. X-Files hype. The more I think about it, the higher I want to place it. Maybe top of D or bottom of C. Let's do bottom of C. I'm feeling generous toward this one because I actually did like quite a bit of it. Not all of it, mind you, but a decent chunk. Barbie Explorer, F. I don't think I need to justify myself. Maybe it's the top of F. It's definitely better than Captain Scarlet. Horrible game. Controls were some of the worst I've seen. I gave Barbie actually like 4 hours or something crazy. I spent way too much time on Barbie. Those that stuck around can vouch. Like, yeah, not worth it. Nick Racers, yeah, I'm thinking Nick Racers is a C. Just a bog standard kart racer. Better than Flintstones. I'd argue better than Smurf Racer. Had a better time with it than some of these. In fact, I might put it just below Wacky Races. It's above Ghostbusters. Animaniacs. What do I give this one? This was a total joke game that we barely played. We barely played it legit. I kind of gave up on playing it legit, and then we ran the speed run, where literally all you do is spam through your turn as fast as possible and let the AI bowl. It's 100% RNG run, but I enjoyed it more than Barbie. I mean, it's either the very bottom of a D or like the top of F for me. I guess I'll go top of F for now. We kind of need to fill out F a little more. Okay, Tape. I feel a little weird adding this one, but I did finish this game. Indie game that Mecha, I believe, had me play. Some actually decent jump scares. You know, I actually kind of had some fun with it. I feel a little harsh putting it at a D. There's some decent ideas in here. Could have been fleshed out. You know, if I was not trying to rank it based on how it compares to other games, I'd probably go higher with it because I know limited resources. I understand. Making an indie game is not easy. Especially a solid indie game is not easy to make. Definitely liked it more than Undertale overall. In terms of the experience. That's the problem with Undertale being a D, is that I know it's a better game than that, but my experience with it on stream was so bad. Like, it deserves to be there. I'm gonna put it above Panic and below that Wacky Races game. Bedrock Bowling, here we go. The one we've probably most of you have been waiting for. S tier. Can I, in good faith, put it in S though? I'm thinking B, like middle B. It does play better than it looks. I was like ready to put it in here. I'm gonna put it above Mario 64 and Sunshine. Is this gonna happen? In fact, I'm like mid-A at this point. You know what? The entertainment value, it's like a C tier game. Maybe B. But the entertainment value alone transcends simple tier. Middle of A. Screw it. You guys are right. I like it too much not to put it high up. That's definitely like a Pete Dorr level placement though. And I mean that in all the best possible ways. Okay, Road Rash on 3DO. I love this game. Best version of Road Rash, in my mind. Yeah, Road Rash is A. Just where on A? I'm tempted to put it... Like, I'm thinking top of A, to be honest with you. I adore this game. Honestly, if that was the only game on the 3DO, I'd still have a 3DO. That's how good it is to me. Okay, Need for Speed. Not nearly as good as Road Rash, I can tell you that much. In fact, it's interesting to see where the series started. Yeah, it's pretty meh. I'd go low B or top of C, probably. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go top of C. It's better than LA Noire, but not by a whole lot. Plumbers don't wear ties. I mean, this fails as a game. I think it goes without saying it fails as a game. But it is entertaining. How much does that entertainment transcend tiers? I feel like I gotta go F. Below F. It's not a game. Yeah, I think the fact that it's not a game, I gotta put it in F. I can't put it anywhere else. Despite how much fun it was to play through. More like watch through. Watch the slideshow. But yeah, F tier, bottom of F. Okay, Croc. Where do I put Croc? I'm not gonna say it let me down, but I was expecting average and I got average with this one. I think that's the best way to put it. Croc is the definition of C. I think between Toy Story and Garfield, like just the middle of C. If I was going off purely enjoyment, I might rank it a little higher, but it's very middle of the road. Croc should be dead center. It's pretty much. Simpsons Skateboarding, another F. I literally couldn't finish the game if I wanted to. We got to a point in the game where I tried doing the objective that they asked me to do, and I did it, and it would not progress the game. So it literally stopped me from finishing it. I don't know what else deserves an F. It's not as horrible as everybody says, but the fact that I literally couldn't finish it, even if I wanted to, I think makes it deserving of an F, right behind Bubsy. I firmly believe that's where it should be. Bug Riders on PS1. This is a weird one. I like this game, but I realize it's not that great. I think it's another C tier game. It was totally average. Another like middle of the road game that I personally like because it's a racing game. I can admit it's middle of the road. Yeah, it's got to go like middle of C, maybe slightly above. I'll put it above Toy Story Racer just for being unique. I really liked the twist on the racing genre they took with it. Not the best execution, but I don't know. I dug it. Yeah, right above Toy Story. As much as I like Toy Story, I do think this edges it out just a tad. So now B and C are about equal length, which actually checks out. Gex, oh man. Gex, Enter the Gecko. Gex is B. I would probably agree with you. Still a good game though. I do think it is B tier though. I would be inclined to put it above Outrun. I do want to play the 3DO version. I have it ready to go. I just need to set aside the time for it. We're getting close, guys. We're like in the last like 30 or so games. B is just about stacked once again. Overblood. I really like this one. The stream didn't do particularly well, which I mean, I don't care, but I really like this one. I will say having to use a walkthrough was kind of a bummer, but it definitely was not a deal breaker. The final boss, very difficult, but really fun to cheese. Really fun experience. But in terms of like it being an actual game, debatable how good it is. I'd be inclined to put it maybe toward the upper echelon of C. Near Lifeline would actually make sense. In fact, I might move Employee of the Month down. Honestly, Overblood and Lifeline kind of sit together. It makes sense. Overblood by Lifeline or higher. I think it's going to be just above Lifeline. I think that's the proper placement. Yeah, I'm going to move SpongeBob. It's a little too high. Match made in heaven. Overblood and Lifeline sitting together. Yeah, it's honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. Klonoa, the Feels, it was the Feels era. Yeah, we had Peepo with Overblood. Unfortunately, I didn't have a clip of Peepo, but a robot companion from Overblood. And then we got Klonoa, man, back-to-back PS1 Feels. Klonoa is A tier for me. I think I might put this maybe toward the bottom of A tier, but still A tier. I'll put it next to Darkwing. It gets very difficult toward the end. That could just be a me thing, but you've been slightly warned. It's still, despite the difficulties, it's still worth it. Okay, Jak X Combat Racing. I enjoyed what I played of this, but it's honestly not that good of a game. In fact, you know, in terms of the other racers I played, I'd say it ranks a little low. If anything, it's gonna get B. I feel a little better putting it like the top of C. It's good, but it's very repetitive and it's far too long for its own good. The story kind of gets lost in having to do all the missions. We're about to rank B movie right now. I do feel like this is a D tier game. Actually a cool game. I mean, it's so by the numbers though. Is high D too low? I don't know, that's my gut feeling. Like some of those mini games were atrocious. So bad. Put it in B now. B? B. B. I see what you're getting at, but why? Like, I can't. D tier it goes. I think Strider's A tier. I will say, having unlimited credits, it seems like arcade games have this issue, where either you get way too many, like, unlimited credits, or you get a very, very limited amount that you can't set or change. Really great 2.5D platformer, though. I think I'm gonna put it next to Bedrock. Why does that sound right? It sounds right, I'm doing it. Sonic Riders, oh man. I did not care for Sonic Riders. It's not a bad game, but man was it rough. I might put it top of D. Klonoa Beach Volleyball. I like this one. Very basic, but I had fun with the couple hours I played with it. I would maybe put it between Doom and Lord of the Rings. I'm not sure it's B. It's fine. To me, it's another kind of middle of the road. I mean, it was fun. I'm just not entirely sure. Yeah, the boss was a slog. I should have just played on easy, because I could have beaten that game in like less than half the time if I had just played on easy. It's either B or C, I know that much. I'm gonna go with my gut. and put it between Doom and Lord of the Rings. Although I enjoyed it more than Doom. I enjoyed it more than a good chunk of these, actually. I'll put it above Bug Rider. There we go. Final answer. We're slightly going off the screen there. I will fix that probably off stream. Not Nitro Kart. We have Tag Team. This was one that really disappointed me because I had super fun memories of this, playing this when I was younger, and it did not hold up. And the main issue was the game was far too easy. Painfully easy. Usually I complain about games being too hard. This was the opposite. It was far too easy. That being said, I mean, this is pretty close to the bottom of C. Plus C is stacked. So yeah, I'll do top of D. Yeah, it was really kind of a bummer going back to that one. Kind of sucks to say because I had fond memories of playing that, but the game's so damn easy. It's just not even fun. Simpsons Wrestling I enjoyed more than I should have. I really did. I'm probably going to be a little biased on this one because I actually enjoyed it. I'm inclined to put on C. Yeah, no, it was so much fun. It's not a great game, but I had a lot of fun with it. I'll put it above Croc. We've got our wall of PlayStation 1 in C. Yeah, above Croc, below Toy Story. Again, a C is going way off. It's actually off the screen now. I think we'll just move D. We'll just put more into D. It'll kind of level out the list a little more too. These last three. Gonna move over. I think, yeah, like looking at these, I'm like, yeah, these could contend for D easily. Wave Race. This game's fucking hard. It's a cool game, but man, is it hard. I think it's gonna go toward the bottom of A for me. Probably above Crazy Taxi 3. Road Rage. I like Road Rage quite a bit, but it's a shameless Crazy Taxi clone. They don't even try to hide it. In fact, I believe EA got sued by Sega and they settled out of court for it. As much as nostalgia blinds me a little bit, I gotta be real, it's probably a C tier game. I would argue probably next to Nickelodeon Kart Racers, slightly above Ghostbusters, just for my personal taste. It's getting the nostalgia bump. It's getting bumped up like 5 or 6 games for being a nostalgia game. Okay, Speed Racer. I actually really like this one. Another racing game that didn't know when to quit. Didn't know when it was too long. Some cool mechanics though. Yeah, this was a neat one. I actually really liked this one. I'd probably go B tier. Even above stuff like Smuggler's Run. Maybe even Road Trip. Yeah, I think I might squeeze it in between Simpsons and Road Trip. Really solid game, surprisingly solid. For being like a movie tie-in. And again, running out of space. Oh, Super Mario Kart? Listen, I can't in good faith rate this super low just because I had a rough time with it. It's still a great game. Yeah, my lack of insane... You kind of need insane skill for this. This is an A tier game. Maybe... I think sandwiching it between Luigi's Mansion and Strider. It's like in the middle of the pack for A. Just like all the... You can tell my kart racing fetish is working here. Because I've got 3 Mario Karts in the top half of A. I've got 1 in S. Like, come on. But yeah, between Luigi's Mansion and Strider. Okay, Madagascar Karts. I actually like that one. Not a bad little kart racer. Where to put it, though? I will say it was a little forgettable. I mean, it played well. The fact that it's on the Wii, I think, docks it a little bit. I'd probably sooner play Smurf Racer, so I'm thinking top of D. To me, it's like a middle-of-the-road kart racer, but it was lacking something. Like, we didn't even play it that long ago, and I already kind of forgot I played it. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna put it at the top of D. Festival of Fun. Oh, what do I give Festival of Fun? PAL exclusive for the PS2. Oh, man. It's gotta be, like, D tier. Top of F. It fails as a kid's educational game, which is what it's trying to be. Double Dash, this is also going to go in A. I can already feel it. Actually, you know what? I might move a couple to S here. I'm going to move these to S. Call me crazy. Double Dash disappointed you. I actually had the opposite experience streaming it. I used to not like it, and then streaming it, I actually really came around on it. The controls are kind of a point of contention. I am crazy. That's 2 Mario Karts in S tier, but it gives me some more room in A. I'm thinking Double Dash is A for me. It's not quite near the top. I'm thinking after Star Fox. I keep wedging things in between Star Fox and whatever, but it's just a good spot. Plus Star Fox is great. Maybe right by DS. Yeah, I probably did like it more than 64, actually. I just kind of want to space them out too, though. You know what I'll do? I think I might move Mario Kart to where I was talking about putting Double Dash and putting Double Dash higher. I'm going to put Double Dash where 64 was. F-Zero. Well, I mean, this is the only F-Zero I've played, so I don't really have any frame of reference, although I really did like it. I think we beat like beginner and intermediate or whatever hell the modes are called. I'd say I liked it more than Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart. Maybe even more than Mario Kart 64. Maybe even more than Star Fox. Yeah, Nintendo's getting a lot of love in the A tier. I might actually put it above Paper Mario. Fuck it. I really did. I really did. I liked it way more than I thought I would. I thought I was gonna get totally beat by it, which I kind of did toward the end. The first 2 difficulties to me were really fair. Quite balanced. I was impressed. A and B are getting a little overstocked again. Slightly hanging off the edge, but I'm okay with that. House of the Dead 2 and 3. I mean, it's a great... It's a great for an arcade light gun shooter, but the genre doesn't do that much for me. This is like one of the few I'll actually play. Maybe B. I think I'm like next to Carrion, actually. I think I might put it here. Yeah, B tier. You gotta love the cheesy voice acting. There's a lot to love, but there's also some issues. Yes, we got Emperor's New Groove. We got the Disney games and then the Treasure Planets. I really liked Emperor's New Groove a lot. I gotta place it kind of high. I think top of C. It's literally a worse Spyro. I mean, we don't have Spyro on the list to compare. I really enjoyed it. It's jank. It's got its moments, but overall, really liked it. And I'm only giving it a C because I know how jank it is. And I'm willing to admit that's the case. Treasure Planet 2 on the PS2. This was a boring game. I'm surprised I finished it, looking back on it. Just not a very good game at all. Graphically, not good. The beacons were kind of annoying. I mean, it was good for time filler. Yeah, I'm thinking D tier for the PS2 version. PS1 is probably C tier. See, Futurama, like, I struggled with a bit, but it was memorable. This is just kind of, like, forgettable. I'll put it above tape, just slightly above tape. I'm shocked. It should have been the better game, and yet it was the worst game. Still kind of baffles me. Okay, Treasure Planet PS1, the much better game of the two. I'm thinking C tier. I really enjoyed it. Again, I'm gonna dial my rating back a bit because jank bias. I can admit that. I'd probably put it right near the top of C, probably close to Emperor's New Groove. In fact, I might put it next to Emperor's New Groove because I felt like they were very comparable. 9 games, 9 minutes. Oh shit, you're right. Speedrun this. Incredible Crisis. Really wonky, fun game that surprisingly got localized to America despite the fact that it's so Japanese. I mean that in the best way, obviously. I really like this one. Some of the mini games got a little repetitive, especially the emptying the boat mini game. I'm thinking B tier though. The game was funky. Yeah, probably bottom of B tier. We're running out of space. So for now, I'm just gonna stack it. It's just slightly sticking up. I will fix this later. This is a temporary solution. Chamber of Secrets PS1. I would argue slightly better than Sorcerer's Stone PS1. I feel like A's a little high. It's taking the jank bias a little too far. I mean, they're basically, for all intents and purposes, they're very, very similar. I might shove it between Carrion and House of the Dead. Barely sticking up there. iNinja. We're in the last 6 games. Last 6. I liked this one. It's kind of a mixed bag. I'd probably say definition of a C tier platformer. So maybe next to Croc would be fitting. Although it's probably slightly better than a game like Bug Riders even. I'm going to put it between Klonoa and Bombad. Okay, Pocket Bike. I did the speedrun for this. I found it quite fun, actually. It's not a good game, though. Yeah, I'm thinking D tier. Toward the top. Toward the top, for sure. This one I can actually put in its place. Better than Lego Racers, in my mind. Believe it or not. Maybe it gets the slight speedrun bump. Okay, Disney's Extreme. Fond childhood memories of this. Yeah, I was really disappointed. The Toy Story levels in this were phenomenal, I thought. I thought they were quite good, actually. For, like, you know, a kid's version of a Tony Hawk game. But the Lion King and the Tarzan ones were garbage. Total garbage. Yeah, so I think D tier is fair. I might fit it above Sonic Riders, below Crash. Jurassic Park on the 3DO. Top of F. I do want to eventually finish the speedrun, but man, pretty garbage game. I just enjoy it way more than I should. I can admit it's F tier. 2 minutes, we got it. Twisted Metal, A tier. Where in A though, you ask? I really liked it, actually. Maybe it's closer to the bottom of A, but I still really enjoyed it. I think before Wave Race, after Tetris. But sticking up there. And then Batman, F tier. I do want to finish this though. I'm a sick person. I'm fully aware. This game is garbage, but I was enjoying it far too much. I am ranking it because I'm like, we already got halfway through and I'm bound to finish it. we played it this year. So I'm going to count it. Where an F, though. I think it's better than Jurassic Park. Honestly, probably the top of F. I had a lot of fun with what I played. So there we go. We got them all. We did it, guys. We did it. 1 minute. 2020 complete. We did it. If I can move these in time. There we go. Got it. Done. All right. That's our list. It's a little messy. I got to fix it up a bit before I post it on Discord. Just in time. We got it. God, what an experience this was.